Hello, it's Michelle Abrahall. It's a pretty dull Saturday afternoon and I was going to do a bit of drawing and realised that my sketchbook's actually full. So I thought it could be quite fun to have a quick flick through and look at the things that I think have gone well and the things that I probably would do differently. I've been doing a lot more sort of hand-drawn illustration lately, which I've been really enjoying. So yeah, just going to dive in and talk you through it. So this is my A4 sketchbook, just a really cheap one from the works probably. Yeah, this one, I was trying something different. I was trying to do sort of patterns, trying to use some different colours. I'm not so keen on how that one turned out, if I'm honest. This is for just a card campaign. They wanted to sort of share some images on Instagram probably. I like my beardy man. I've used him on quite a few things, so I had to include him. Quite pleased with that one. Oh, blank pages. This one, I think I had a bit of a flurry of Etsy sales, so I wanted to do a thank you. And I was really happy with how these letters came out. Used quite a lot of Posca pen markers in this sketchbook. I really like the flat colour you get with those. They're really good. This was a super quick sketch, probably on a Sunday night. Bit of a colour come through, that's annoying. But yeah, just typical of my illustrations, quite a lot of lines going on there. I quite like this bold bit of colour. This must have been for elections. That must have been like national elections, because I'd read a statistic about how few women vote despite all the struggles that people had gone through in previous years to get suffrage. So this is quite emotional. It's like there's a bit of rage here, a bit of female rage, because I just was really angry that people weren't voting. So it's a shouty woman saying use your vote. And again, quite happy with this lettering. What else? Oh, I've got some more blank pages. It's not as full as I thought. This is from a photo shoot that I saw in the Sunday Times magazine. This lady just had this really like cool, nonchalant pose, and I just could imagine. I added the kind of queen bit. I was quite happy with this one. It looks a bit like Mila Jovovich. I don't know if I've said her name right. It just so happened to turn out looking like her, but I was really pleased with that one. Yeah, you can see I've had to like leave blank pages because the colour bleeds through. This was perhaps an idea for a badge or like a patch or something. I think I was in a bit of a like low mood that day because I was just feeling a bit like, oh, fuck it, live till you die. There's no point worrying about stuff. I fucked this one up because it's meant to be like opposite, and I think I did. Yeah, that should have been white and that should have been black, which was super annoying because it took me ages to do. But you know, the design's still there. I can come back to it another time. What else have we got? Oh yeah, this is the start of some experimentation with like layering up colour with line, and that was just a really sort of subconscious doodle. And you can see I've started doing this eye motif that's now kind of turned into my new branding, which is interesting. This must have been on a lazy weekend and I just felt like I was busy doing nothing, and I love drawing leaves. I draw leaves a lot, and I was really happy with like, I think I challenged myself to use different colours that like weren't like this green skin tone. I think I was like, okay, I'm not going to do a pink skin tone. I'm going to do something completely different. And I was really pleased with how that one came out. This is again, more leaves. I love drawing leaves. Yeah, this is quite Japanese. I'm quite into Japanese style and Japanese design. Quite like a bit of minimalism. This just says for the love of lines. I like a bit of black and white now and again. Oh yeah, here's the original sort of incarnation of my new branding actually. The sort of heart eye. And I just had this idea, this could be like a cover of a book or something about visual treats. It's kind of evolved into my logo now. Yeah, this is me trying to draw a profile without a reference, and you can see it's rubbish. It's like, oh, the chin's just completely fucked up. So this is why I need to use references when I'm drawing profiles. This was another one that I wasn't so happy with how it turned out, but I like the idea of it. I think I was just thinking about like gratitude and being and how fortunate I am, and trying to remember that there are people in my life that are my fortune. So it's like kind of cookie, fortune cookie idea. But yeah, wasn't so happy with like the execution of that one. Oh, I got really frustrated with this one. I went to see a talk. I can't remember the lady's name. I'd have to look it up. But she shared a quote by Rumi, who's this ancient poet, all about being yourself and being authentic. And the quote is, tear off the mask, your face is glorious. And I was like, oh my God, I need to draw this quote. And I just got really frustrated again with the execution because I wanted it to look like a mask. And I just don't like the face. This is like some crazy high forehead going on here. But yeah, again, a good idea that I might come back to. But I just, yeah, the lettering was frustrating me as well on that one. This must have been, I can't remember like when lockdown started. And I'd have to kind of go back to my Instagram, because this is obviously someone looking through a window. I can't remember if this was like a lockdown inspired thing. Again, this profile is weak. That's not a good profile. Again, I think this was kind of a kind of self-confidence thing. Sometimes you need to like tell yourself you're awesome. Again, I'm not crazy happy with these faces, but it was just something a bit different, like a little quick sketch to put out. Trying some different lettering. That was obviously something I gave up on. I really like this one. I think a lot about small businesses and self-employment because that's why I am, and I kind of follow a lot of people on Instagram that are small businesses. So is this kind of like a boss, and I just love this super sharp kind of Mia Wallace bob, and I always draw in hair quite a lot. It's funny because my hair's crap, and I always seem to draw a lot of hair and women with long hair. I don't know if it's like some sort of hair envy thing going on, but yeah, I was quite pleased with this one. And again, a bit of black and white. Kind is the new cool. I like the lettering on this. I don't like the colouring. I don't like, yeah, it would need a bit of work, that one. But I do like the message of that one, and that went down quite well on Instagram. What else have we got? Oh, I've actually gone on the other page. Really like this one. Bloom is one of my favourite words. I use it quite a lot in my drawings. I love the kind of connotations of the word bloom, and the kind of like waiting for a flower to bloom. It's waiting for the time. It's waiting for the right sort of conditions to bloom. And then when it does, it's like go, go, go. And I really like the lettering on this one. I kind of made a mural mock-up of that as well. You can see that on my Instagram, of like how that could look on a wall with colour. That was a fun one. This was just like challenging myself to draw some daffodils in a bit of a looser style. I'm absolutely obsessed with daffodil like stems, how they have this awesome like gradient on them. So I was trying to like recreate that. And I really like the kind of hexagon shape on that one. What am I doing with this one? Oh, this is when I was thinking about drawing on plates, and I was trying to think of like what to draw on a plate and how it would fit, and maybe like putting some text on it. And then I think I ended up doing something a bit different, and I did sell that on Etsy. It was like a hand painted vintage plate with the beardy man on. So these are just my obviously like preliminary sketches of that one. This is a kind of like 80s nail salon art vibe. I saw, again, a picture in a magazine, fashion magazine, and this model had like really strong stripes of makeup on her face, and I just thought it looked really cool. And then I've just kind of made up some lettering, kind of pictographic lettering, which I really like it. This is another funny thing where you share things on Instagram and like the things you really like just don't seem to resonate with people, but I really like that one. Oh yeah, this is my other preliminary sketch for another plate I did with I really love giant African land snails. Their shells are so cool, like you have to Google it. That plate, I've actually done 2 slow down snails. One of them is in the Zero Waste shop in Leamington, and the other one I did for somebody on Etsy. Oh, there's a sketch for my post-pandemic promises. You can still get them. You can still download them from my website. It's like a voucher you give to people to sort of promise, things that you're going to do with your friends. Ice cream in the park on a sunny day. I originally called them virus vouchers, and I thought that's a bit rubbish. So I called them post-pandemic promises. Oh, this is when I was, I drew a custom activity book for my friend's daughter. She's, needed some things to take her mind off lockdown. So these few pages are like lockdown time. So I drew her like activity books, and I was just trying to figure out like a word search. Alice's super fun activity book. So I was just like plotting out how that would look. Oh yeah, see, this is full on. This is deep in lockdown now. Home is where the health is. I think I was trying to make myself feel better about the fact that I couldn't leave the flat. And this is not, I don't live in a house like this. I live in a third floor flat. So yeah, this is not representative of where I live. But I was quite pleased with how this turned out. I'm really into my like serif lettering. That's really fun. This is something I haven't got around to doing. I was sort of planning out a big piece, and I really like octopus. And I really wanted to do like a really massive piece of illustration. So I was trying to plot out all the different tentacles. I haven't done anything with that yet. So that's I've totally forgotten about that actually. Oh yeah, here's another one. Here's another like COVID one. Safe at home. I was challenging myself to not draw lines around stuff because I always go in with a fine line and then colour in. So I was really trying to just do blocks of colour. And these, you can see, these are the Posca pens, and they're brilliant because you can go back in with white and like tidy up. So I was pleased with that one. This is one I really like. This is when I used a reference to get the profile, and I really like the profile, how that one turned out. And again, just love drawing. I love drawing leaves and flowers and doing something just black and white for change. This got a big reaction on social media. I was freaking out at this point. This is when I was struggling quite a lot with the whole mess of quarantine, and I think I had a bit of a freak out. I had a panic attack, actually. That's what it was. I had a panic attack, and I was talking to my friend on the phone, and she basically talked me down. She fucking like just talked me through it. She's amazing. And then we were talking about like coping strategies, and she said, okay, you need to just go and like get everything out of your head. So I did, and this is kind of me, and I'm just freaking out, and this is the doom and gloom of messages and news. This is the scary medical news. I was getting really terrified by the accounts of people being put on ventilators. It was horrible. I was like having nightmares about it. Work was stressful, still is, working from home. The fact that everything in April was cancelled. Empty shelves. Oh my God, that was horrible. I'm really glad that's over now. The kind of empty shelf thing, that was really freaking me out. Comfort eating, comfort drinking. I think we've all done a bit of that. The fact you've got to stay away from people. You've got to like measure this, 2 meters. My dad was going to the corner shop every day. Oh my goodness, so many things to think about. But again, that got a really big reaction. Another bloom. Was trying something different. I don't think that works very well, but I was trying something different with that one. Oh my God, I've got so many like blank pages on this. That's awful. I was trying to draw a face without a reference. That's really bad. Again, that's awful. Terrible. This is one I did after a couple of drinks. Might have been a Saturday night. I really like this. It's kind of like punky and fun and loose. I like the lettering. I like the colours of that one. I was getting into a bit of a pink stage here. This was another reaction to the kind of quarantine lockdown, the fact, feeling like you're in this kind of box of, restrictions. And there's a Blur song that, if you're a Blur fan, you'll know this. Really, really nice song. This was a fun one. I just wanted to try something different and working with the idea of like blocks of colour and like putting line on top of it. Really like birds, more leaves, more flowers, more black lines. This is kind of indicative of my style. Indicative. This is a super quick one. I bought these new brush pens just online, just black brush pens, and I was trying to do a bit of a looser, scripty style. I was quite pleased with that one. More experimentation. This is actually, if you look closely, this is like scratched. This is paint that's been scratched off with the end of a painting brush. And I was playing around with like acrylic paint, and then this is like Posca pen on top. Don't like the blue. I like the pink and the green. It's all just trying stuff out. It's trying new stuff. I'm really embarrassed by how many blank pages there are in this sketchbook. I really love this one. This was the start of another like experimentation with chunky lettering. I just love, there was, again, I can't remember the artist's name. It's someone I follow on Instagram, Bruno something. I'll see if I can find him to tag him. And he had this really nice pose that he'd drawn of this woman with her head in her hands, like just looking really bored. And I was like, oh my God, that's such a mood. And I've just like reinterpreted in my style, lots of hair. See what I mean about the hair? Like I'm just always drawing loads of hair. And I was just trying to like layer up the lettering, like, you know, try different things with how the lettering is layered. Really like that. How soon is soon? Everyone was talking about, we'll see each other soon. We'll get back to normal soon. All the shops will be open soon. And I was like, yeah, but when? When's that going to happen? So that was the question on my mind. And I was also like, again, trying out something different with looping the lettering through the holes and stuff. So that was a good one. This is my cat Nibbles. He was just looking really cute, like he was looking out the window. I think he was staring at some birds, and I just thought he just looked really cute. So I took a photo and then drew it from the photo and tried to make it a bit more like cartoony. This was some experimentation with paints. Not crazy about this one. This is what happens when I try and draw the face without like having a reference. It just goes a bit flat and weird. So yeah, I think it's quite moody, that one. It's quite dark. More hair. I think this probably was a reference, but I'm not too happy with the face on this one. She looks a bit weird. You can see I've tried to like correct it. The chin looks a bit wrong. See, if I went back and did it again, it'd be completely different. But I just loved this like waterfall of hair. So I love drawing hair as like a graphic, really graphic thing. This is going to take ages, isn't it? More lettering. I just love playing with different kind of lettering. I was trying to like give myself a bit of a pep talk here. Strong as hell. Another one. Baby, I'm bored. I like drawing roses as well. It's quite tattoo inspired. Just, yeah, trying to challenge myself to do more lettering, different styles of lettering. I like that one. I really like this one. This is from, there's an actress called, oh my gosh, I can't remember her name. She was in Midsummer, and she was in Fighting with My Family. Florence Pugh. And she had a fashion spread in magazine, and there was one pose where she just had her head thrown back. And I just thought, oh my God, that just looks so freeing. And she's just gone, fuck it. So I just drew it from the reference of the magazine and made her hair like really graphic and made the letters like come out of the hair. I was really pleased with that one. It came out really well. This is a fun one. I really like this one. Again, I see photos on Instagram quite a lot, and I kind of save them. This was a photo of a really cute black cat, and he had his claws like properly out, and the caption was something like always like a little mini Wolverine. And I was like, oh, kitty has claws. And I knew I wanted to draw it, so I saved it. And I just made it really like super simple and cartoony. And this is the Posca pens again. I'm really happy with that one. This was a Draw It In Your Style challenge. George Tonks, I think the guy's name is. He's got this super cool style where things are like really squared off. Like he draws a lot of animals in a really sort of geometric squared off way. And he'd drawn this iguana, and he said, okay, draw it in your style. And I was like, oh, cool. I can draw an iguana. And again, I was trying to like make the lettering part of the iguana, but it didn't work as well as I hoped, because I think this black line is too strong, and you do lose like the lettering, but again, a bit of an experiment. This was just like, I just wanted to put out something really positive onto my Instagram. And this, I don't know if you can see, this is like a cutout. This background, I had this really nice gradient that I'd painted, and I cut it into a circle, and I knew I wanted to use it as a background. And I'm just like trying different kinds of lettering. I think it's just nice. It's just nice to be nice. It's nice to not be nice. This is going to sound really weird, but sometimes I'll just take a selfie of myself doing a pose that I want to draw. And I think I must have just been in a bad mood. And I just took a selfie of myself, like flicking the V's. And I thought that would make a really cool pose. And I knew I wanted to do it really black and white. And I wanted the nose to just be really strong. Really like this one. Really like that. It's got a good attitude. Here we go. Talking about attitude. Again, this was a photo. I saw a photo of a cat, like proper, like sprawled out on a balcony. It was so funny. And I just saved it on my phone again, and then, you know, came back to it to draw. I really like the lettering on this one. I'm not so sure the cat is that successful, but overall I like it. And I like the little martini he's got there. Experiments with paints, like trying a bit of a more of a paint background, trying different colours, trying a green and pink. Someone called me out on Instagram for having like the American spelling of mom, and I didn't even realise until I'd done it that I'd done mom and not mum, and I was like, oh shit, why did I do mom? But, you know, these things happen. But I'm pleased with how that one turned out. And I am a plant mum. I've got loads of plants. I just really wanted to draw a Medusa because she's total badass. This one has turned out a bit Sophia Loren for some reason. And I was really happy with like the layering of the colours and the gradients and stuff. But again, you know, I look at it now and I'm like, that face isn't great, but this is what happens. And actually, this is like client work notes. So that's kind of all my sketches that I can show you. One final thing to share. I have set myself a challenge to draw more bodies. And this is a list that I've done. And I've just done like an A to Z because I thought, oh, everyone loves an A to Z. And I wanted to just really challenge myself to do different things. Like I have done the acrobat one that's on my Instagram. So there's loads of different ones. I just really want to draw full people and not just heads and shoulders. As you can see, I've done a lot of like heads and shoulders. I'm missing a U and a Y. So if anyone can think of like something I can draw for you or Y, let me know. And I've also tried to like remember that I need to be better at drawing more diverse genders, races, sizes. Because if I want to be an editorial illustrator, I can't just be drawing the same style of person all the time. So that's something I want to challenge myself to do. So that's ended up being quite a long video. So if you've stuck through it, I hope you've enjoyed that, and yeah, hope you found that interesting. And yeah, I will see you all soon. Bye.